As a software developer, how often do you leave a backdoor in your code? I've been a freelance software developer for about 7 years, and I'd love to say I trust every client I work with, but that would be a lie. I've been burned before. You finish an app, hand it over, and suddenly they lose your final payment or vanish. So now, I build insurance into my code. Not a virus, not anything malicious, just a quiet little failsafe that makes sure I never get taken for a ride again. A few years ago, I got a contract to build a logistics app for a mid-sized import company. Nothing fancy, just tracking containers, invoices, and customs paperwork. The guy who hired me, the CEO, was slick, always talking fast, promising bonuses, saying he wanted a long-term partnership. That kind of energy always sets off alarms, but the money was good, so I went for it. We agreed on milestones, half up front, the rest on delivery. He sent the first payment instantly, so I got to work. 6 weeks later, I had the system coded, tested, and running perfectly. It even had a small admin dashboard for his staff. Everything was clean, documented, and ready to go. Then came time for the final payment. I sent the invoice. He said, "Just waiting on accounting." 2 days later, accounting's out until Monday. By Wednesday, he was suddenly too busy to take calls. Classic. That's when the backdoor came in. Early on, I'd built a small authentication check into the app, completely invisible to users. Every time the app started, it sent a quick handshake to one of my servers. My server replied with a code. 200 meant everything was fine. 201 meant temporary suspension. If the app got that signal, it would log everyone out and turn into a read-only demo. I never expected to use it, but as his excuses piled up, I decided it was time to remind him who actually built the thing. I flipped the switch. The next morning, an email popped up. Urgent, app not working. The tone was different now. He said his team couldn't log in, orders weren't updating, and the dashboard was frozen. I told him it sounded like a server issue on his end, and I'd take a look as soon as the final invoice cleared. Within minutes, he called, suddenly friendly. "Hey man, yeah, accounting must have messed something up. I'll get it sorted today." 2 hours later, still nothing. So I made it interesting. I updated the backdoor to trigger a banner across their dashboard. Unlicensed copy detected. Contact developer. 15 minutes later, my phone rang again. He was panicking. "Bro, the app's saying it's unlicensed. My clients can see this. What the hell did you do?" I said calmly, "That's strange. Did you pay your license fee?" Dead silence. That evening, I got the payment. Full amount. He tried to negotiate, said he was short on cash flow. I didn't budge. I even added a late fee for emergency support. He paid that too. Once the funds cleared, I changed the response code on my server to 203, the fully paid signal. That permanently disabled the handshake, deleting the backdoor completely. From that moment, the app was fully his. A week later, another freelancer reached out asking if I'd ever worked with that same CEO. Turns out, he'd stiffed them on a web design project. They had no leverage, no code control, no backup. That's when I realized how often developers get taken advantage of. I told him what I'd done, and his reply was, "You're a genius." I'm not. I just learned the hard way that in freelance tech, trust is earned, not given. These days, I don't always build backdoors, but every major project has a fail-safe check, disguised as a routine update. It doesn't harm anything. It just keeps me from being helpless if someone decides not to pay. Funny thing is, a few months later, that same CEO emailed me again, asking if I was available for another project. I didn't even respond. I just archived the message, smiled, and got back to work.